This is Up Next. I'm Tiziana Deering. What if someone else found a note you wrote? It happens all the time, and those little scraps can paint a deeply touching picture of everything from everyday life to lasting love. For 25 years, people around the world have sent notes they find to Davy Rothbart, who publishes them in a magazine aptly called Found. Davy brings some of these glimpses into other people's souls and psyches to WBUR City Space on Friday. He's with us this morning. Welcome, Davy.
Thank you.
So this all started with a note you found.
I found a note on the windshield of my car. I was living in Chicago, and I came out of my apartment late one night, and my name's Davy, but on my windshield was a note addressed to Mario. So I opened this up, what's it all about? It said, "Mario, I hate you. You said you had to work. Why is your car here at her place? You're a liar. I hate you. I hate you. Signed Amber. P.S. Page me later." And I just thought it was wild, like this mix of, anger, upsetness, and then also kind of the sweetness at the end, page me later. And so there was just so much story packed into this one 30-word note. And so I started showing that note to some of my friends, and I was amazed at how many friends had a kid's note they'd found in the gutter, or a Polaroid picture, a cryptic to-do list, and so I just started collecting this stuff and put it together into basically a zine, a handmade zine. We called it Found Magazine. Then, in order to collect more found stuff, I started hitting the road with my brother Peter, a musician, and we went to all 50 states, hundreds of cities, sharing these found notes and collecting new ones.
So I'm looking at some that you brought, and just so people understand, we are literally talking about found scraps of paper with handwriting on them.
Yep.
It's the simplest thing. I want to hear a little bit. So we had a couple of people read. Here are two of the notes read by WBUR colleagues.
The most intense sun in the biggest desert does not compare with the light of your look.
To me, spiders and trains are very similar. They both are hard workers. They both are very strong. They both get bum deal reputations as being the bad guys, when in fact, we'd be in trouble without them.
So these notes found in Massachusetts, and I'm just wondering, who writes the note to themselves about spiders and trains?
I know that one has always been so cryptic and weird to me. I love those baffling finds. This was one that came from Vermont. It says, "More buns, more cups, less lies."
It's in green, and it looks like a grocery list almost.
I can't figure out what this means. Here's one from Providence, Rhode Island. A woman found this in her front yard after a big storm. It's kind of in kids' handwriting. It says at the top, "Adventure Club." How to get into the club. You need to know how to climb a fence, and you need to like adventure. And then the rules. No messing up the club. Don't bring anything in without permission from Shane or Ethan. You have to be nice to squirrels. And you can't tell anyone where or what the club is.
Except you just did.
Well, the woman that found this, she thought she might know who Shane and Ethan were, and she went up to them on the street a few days later and started asking them about the adventure club and reciting all these top secret rules. So the kids were shocked. How does she know all this classified information? She told them that her dog, named Kismet, had overheard them making up the rules. They were speechless. And as they were walking away, she heard the youngest kid say to his friend, "Whoa, Kismet heard us." So, this was years ago. And I met this woman that found this, and she said she still likes to imagine the kids being really secretive around any dog after that.
So there is playfulness, there is anger, like the note to Mario. There's tongue-in-cheek, there's sexiness. We're going to play a couple more here that our colleagues read that you gave us.
To Sex Muffin from, "To find out who I am, meet me at the library at 2:30.
You're obviously illegally parked. We cannot come in and out of the Antioch Church parking area when you do this. If this persists, we will have you towed in Jesus' name."
So towed in Jesus' name, that one comes from Cambridge. Some of these are notes left for people. Some of them feel like maybe I shouldn't know this. Maybe I shouldn't see this. This is a real look into people's lives.
Yes. These found notes, these are personal, they're raw, they're intimate, and they're voyeuristic, and yet I believe a certain degree of voyeurism is healthy because I think it's natural to be curious what other people's experience of being human is like, and that's what these found notes give us in such a powerful and profound way. Some of these notes, they're extremely intimate, and it's people watching on paper. It's that curiosity we have for the stranger we're sitting across from on the bus or walking down the street. And what we do is we change the names to keep them anonymous, so it's sort of more universal.
25 years of this, probably countless notes. What have you learned most about people and life from this?
I've learned how connected we all are. We had a couple recently. One was from a wealthy guy in Connecticut, another from a poor villager in a small town in Tanzania. Both of these letters were about the loss of a sibling. And I was really moved by them, but also moved by how, almost identical these two letters were, just the feelings that were being shared, even though they were from opposite sides of the world. And I think the more we read these found notes, the more we realize, we are connected to those around us. And it's also, looking for found notes brings me out of my head. And I end up gazing at the faces of a stranger and wondering, could that person have written this beautiful letter that someone gave me last night that they found, It's been an amazing journey over the last 25 years, and our show is so much fun. My brother plays songs based on some of the found notes. Folks from Boston come on out, and we invite people, when they come to the show, to bring their finds.
Bring your finds to see Davy Rothbart, co-founder of Found Magazine, and his brother Peter Rothbart as part of Found Magazine's 25th anniversary tour at WBUR City Space. Davy, thank you.
Thanks so much.